Hi, my name is Danny Snelson. I am an assistant professor in the Department of English at UCLA and part of the core faculty of the Digital Humanities program. My research and teaching concern internet cultures, emerging genres online, poetry and poetics, and media studies. Today, I'm here to present some recent experiments in my classes that use XR, that is to say, augmented reality, mixed reality, virtual reality, in a few surprising or unexpected ways. Now, most of these ways involve trying to break out of Zoom in one way or another, hence the title, while teaching at a distance. So I will outline these in a relatively improvisational way to give you a sense of what we've been doing. To start with, I'd like to point to a course called GEMS. This is Gaming Experiments and Multimedia Scripting. Here, I've pushed students to create games as a way to produce scholarship. This is an example of one student's Unity produced poem. You can see the roses are red and violets are blue here. But if you were to play this game, you would also be able to navigate this environment in a simulated 3D space. If there were more time, I would guide you through each of these, but I'm going to be moving through them relatively quickly. The other course I want to talk about is called Graphic Narratives and Comics Poetics. Now, this class I've offered twice, and it's really a study, a deep dive into comics and the meaning making systems that comics produce. To get into close readings of comics, though, one has to get close to the page, which is very difficult to do at a distance. So I've used a number of platforms. Pictured here is High Fidelity, a 3D virtual audio system where you can hear those around you and navigate a shared space to do close readings on the page. Here you see two characters from Brian Vaughan and Fiona Staples' Saga saying, I just wanted to make sure everyone was on the same page before this next part. Indeed, those circles are all of my students and myself who ran across 9 panels doing close readings of these pages in a shared space. In this way, using a kind of augmented reality or mixed reality, at least in audio terms, to try to relate to each other while doing collaborative close reading. Beyond 3D audio, we've also been able to navigate two-dimensional proximate video spaces to do close readings of comics. In this instance, getting close with soft lead, and in another instance, reading Asterius Polyp in small groups in a way that we're able to gather together, disperse, and reconvene over close readings of specific images in virtual spaces. Beyond these experiments, we can use the inbuilt tools of Zoom itself to try to break the window. One of the things I've had my students do every week is find a selected image from the comic we're discussing that represents their closest interests, something they would like to discuss further or look at more closely to use as their background. In this way, the students are all able to present something from the comic within the image that they're presenting themselves to their peers. Now, there's a whole range of tools here. Animaze is something that does facial rigging, which is the same thing that Snap Camera does. Snap Camera, of course, has been made famous by potatoes and cats you may have seen online, but really is a sophisticated augmented reality platform for reading our faces and producing something in their place. Now, this is something I've used in a lot of my classes. Here's a kind of combination of a variety of 3D avatars and Snap Camera so that my students don't have to participate in the class live, but can be there as avatars, as, say, a penguin or an awkward duck or a baby Yoda. Now, this directly leads into the kind of avatars that one typically uses in 3D spaces. This one is mine. And I'd like to spend the rest of my time talking about VR and the ways in which VR might replace or take the place of Zoom in the classroom. These presentations take the shape of a simulated room here in relationship to the comics they were studying. So this is a room devoted to Junji Ito's extraordinary Uzumaki. We have Skim by Jillian Tamaki here rendered in a kind of sacrificial Wiccan space that features prominently in the narrative. The Inkle by Alejandro Jodorowsky with Mobius as a seaside Italian villa that you descend into the depths of, Enigma, a kind of cyberpunk space by Peter Milligan and Duncan Fegredo, and Hellblazer by Alan Moore. I'll let this play out just a little bit in the background so you can see a sense of what these rooms look like. They're comprised of images, texts, and panels, and the students are able not only to describe what they see and what they've placed in the room, but they're all able to inhabit the same space together, whether it's on a headset, on their phones, at their computers, or otherwise. This kind of mixed reality environment can be played at multiple times using multiple screens. In this way, I believe these platforms enable us to bring our students together in ways that we simply haven't been able to connect over Zoom and other devices for distanced learning. I'll be continuing to explore the ways in which XR can facilitate these kinds of connections. And in the meantime, am delighted to see everything that is happening with my colleagues across these departments. So, with that, I want to say thank you for listening, and I hope to see you in one VR space or the other.